Hey guys, what's up? I've got another tutorial for you guys today. I've done one similar to this a few years ago using undercuts, making a muscle torso. As you can tell, this one is a little bit more of a different design. I based the abdominal area off of the Ben Affleck Batman muscle suit. And something else I've done different with this is I've made it a little bit shorter, so it's easier to bend over, move a little bit. This one is made from 4mm craft foam. The one that I'm going to be building in the video is actually going to be made from 6mm craft foam from SKS Props. And if you guys haven't checked out their foam yet, you guys need to check it out. That stuff is great. It's easy to work with, it's dense, holds its form, easy to heat, just not enough good words to say about it. But anyway, on with the video. As you can tell, I use this one for my Gambit. And for this collar piece, usually I use a half round foam dowel, which you can also get that from SKS Props as well. But for this one, I used 10mm craft foam. And all I did was I just cut it at an inward angle whenever I was cutting it out. Flipped it over and it gave me this nice beveled look. Because I wanted more of a battle damaged, a little more armored look for my Gambit. For the belt is 6mm craft foam. I burnt in these lines right here using wood burner. I 3D printed the belt buckle and glued it on. And this belt is actually glued onto the torso piece. It just helps hold it all secure. And this neck piece is actually my Batman, Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin neck piece that I have available in my shop, which I will link down below so you guys can purchase the patterns and build all this stuff for yourself. But it is super easy, super comfortable, really breathable. And what I've done with this neck piece, in the past I have it Velcroed in the back. Well, this one I actually have it Velcro here on the front. Just like that. Just so it's easier to get on and off, line it up easier. And then for the straps, Velcro right there. And same for the belt. And one other thing I do want to notate that's different from this Gambit piece than from the one that I'm building in the video is on this one you can see that there is a gap right here. That is because I did not cut this lower chest piece with an outward angle cut. All I did, it was a straight cut, and I took some extra foam and basically just band-aided it in the back to hold it all together. Yeah, that's all there is to that. There will be patterns, templates available in my shop for this muscle piece as well. It'll be specific for Gambit. It will also include a template for this bib piece, which isn't going to look exactly like this. It'll be a little bit different, and it will actually go over the shoulders. You'll attach it to your chest right here. It'll actually go over the shoulders, and it basically replaces this neck piece minus this muscle texture right here. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we've got all of our patterns cut out onto 6mm EVA foam. You could also use 4. I'm just choosing to use 6 because it's a little bit thicker, a little bit more sturdy. One thing you'll notice on the pattern for the chest pieces is the arrow actually tells you to make an inward cut. That's a mistake. It needs to be an outward cut on the center of the chest. And then on the bottom of the chest, it's an inward angle cut. Now on the lower part of the chest, I've got it marked center here. You want to cut this bottom edge with an outward angle, and the same with this little bitty centerpiece. It's an outward angle. The other two edges are straight cuts. The reason why you want the outward cuts on the chest is when you glue them together, you're going to glue the edges together and it's going to get you the nice bevel look that you're going for. And I've got all of the muscle design drawn out on this, and what we're going to start off doing is cutting all these lines with this single straight cut, about 1/2 to 3/4 through the foam. You don't want to go all the way through, just enough to, you know, 1/2 to 3/4 the way through, about like that. You want to be able to fold it over like that. You're going to do that to all of these lines. Once you get it all cut, we're going to heat it up and we'll go from there. As you are cutting these, you want to make sure that all of your cuts are meeting up with each other. You want them to be like that, where they all meet. You don't want any foam in between. Just make sure it's fully open like that as you're making these cuts. Alright, now that we have all of our cuts made, you actually kind of see on the other side how it's starting to show up, and I haven't even applied any heat yet. But we're going to apply heat to open up these cuts, make it easier to put in the glue, and we're also going to be pushing out the muscles to give that three-dimensional look. And you want to make sure that you keep the heat gun moving so that way you don't burn the foam, especially when you go to heat the other side of it. Once I've gotten heat over most of the entire thing, I'm actually going to start focusing on a set of muscles at a time so I can push those out and get that real nice three-dimensional look. I always start with the biggest muscles first, usually the top two. I heat both sides of it. If you're using 6mm foam, which is what I would suggest for, say, if you're just now starting out using undercuts, because it can be a little bit more forgiving than the 4mm foam because it is thicker, and if you go a little too deep, less likely to cut all the way through. Whereas the 4mm foam is quite a bit thinner and it's easier to cut through, but the 4mm foam does require less heat. But as you can tell right there, just a little bit of pushing the muscles out has got me that effect. And you just do that for the entire thing, for all the muscles, and then you fill it in with hot glue. That's it. If you're having trouble getting the muscles to form properly, I found the easiest way to do it is basically just go around the edges of the foam and push it out with your fingers. You're basically just making the lines that you made earlier, just fold them out so that way you're making them bigger. And then you've got something kind of like that. But if you were to just leave it like this, it would eventually go flat and you would lose some definition over time. So in order to fix that issue, you take low temp hot glue and you just fill it in the lines. I like having the center line be one of the most defined, so I fold the entire piece over in half like this, and then I just put as much hot glue in there as I can. You want to make sure that you use low temp hot glue because it dries much quicker than high temp. So if you use high temp, you'll be sitting here all day trying to wait on this stuff to dry, holding this piece like this. Whereas low temp cools off super quick and you can get it done really fast. You just do the same thing for all of your cut lines, and then we'll move on to the chest. Alright, I've got all of the lines filled with hot glue now, and it dries almost instantly and it's cool to the touch. And you've got something that looks like this. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the whole build, and it's taken me, I don't know, probably less than 20 minutes to do all of this. So I mean, you can get one of these things knocked out in an hour or less. Get enough practice in. But now we're going to move on to the chest. Set that aside. And you got these pieces. No undercuts to do here. All we have to do is heat them up and get them curved in the correct orientation, and then glue them all together. Glue them all together with contact cement. Alright, now we've got the chest piece curved in the direction that we need it. We're going to take our contact cement and we're going to apply a couple coats on this edge and this edge, the bottom edge, on both pieces. You want to make sure that you get the entire edge coated evenly, especially where the seams, on the face of the seams, the outside, because if you don't have enough glue or you miss a section on the front part, like this side, then when you put it together, your piece will not stay together all the way, and you'll have gaps that you'll need to fill later. So it is best to get it done right, the best you can, the first time. And all this does take practice. And while one set is drying, you apply glue to the second set, keep moving forward. Alright, now that the contact cement on the first set has dried, you're going to want to start with the center and line up your outside edge and work your way back to the hash marks, keeping your thumb here on the seam line, keeping it just as flush as you possibly can. Because if you get this lined up right, with it being just as flush as possible, that means less cleanup work to do later. Less sanding, less filling. And go as slow as you need to on this, because you want to get it done right the first time. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, now once I've got what I'm calling the face of it all lined up, I go to the back side and I push the back side all together. This side doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be pretty, because, well, nobody's gonna see it except for you. I like to flip it back over, put my finger across it, and just push it all together, get it just as close as I possibly can. And there's one chest completed. And now the contact cement on this has dried, and we'll put this one together. Alright, and now both chest pieces are completed, and now we're going to contact cement down the center on both sides. And if you'll notice, there is a slight curve to this. That is there for a reason. It'll help give it more of a natural look to it. Now also, when you glue the center together, you want to make sure that all of your stuff lines up. You'll have to push and pull and squeeze the foam to make sure that it all lines up end to end. I did not include any hash marks on this because I didn't think it was necessary. Because just as long as your edges and your seam lines are all lined up, you'll be good to go. Alright, now that the center has all dry to attack, I'm going to start with the bottom here, making sure that my edges are lining up. And I may be noticing that on mine here, the cut is a little bit off. Like this piece looks a little bit smaller than this piece, but I'm just going to force it to line up. And then slowly work my way up. It can be a bit tricky, but just make sure that you're getting this front seam here to line up first. Alright, and here is it all put together. And the reason for this outward angle cut on this lower chest piece and the straight cut on the ab piece is so you get this nice popped out chest look. Just makes it a whole lot easier. Whenever you're gluing the chest on, you can honestly probably start from the edge and it might be a little bit easier. But I started from the center because I want to make sure that the center is lined up, and then I'll work my way to each edge. As you're doing this, you want to make sure you hold the other chest away from this other piece right here that's got contact cement, because when they touch, they'll want to stick together. So you want to keep that away from each other. And that is pretty much it. What I like to do with these is add an extra piece of foam up here on the top. Add some Velcro to it. And then I also have a neck guard that I have templates for in my shop. I'll link those down below. Make that, pair it with this, attach it with Velcro here at the top. And all you have to do is add you a strap right here and right here to go around you, and you're all set. That's all you need. Paint it up how you want. Like I said, this one's gonna be a Batman, a new Batman armor for me. Going with the classic yellow and black oval for the chest emblem, which I'm actually going to make that a resin cast, and those will be available in my shop as well. Yeah, and that's how you do it. Insta muscles. Alright guys, that does it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope that this does everything that you need to do. I hope you learned something. The most important part, I hope you learned something. I am sorry for the lack of updates on my videos. I am going to try to make more videos more often. It's just a little hairy right now, getting over the holidays and stuff. But yeah, and I hope you guys like my take on Gambit. And in the future, I will be having another video tutorial, and let's go check it out and see what it is. Alright, this will be the next tutorial. It'll probably be a multi-part tutorial, and it's kind of hard to tell what it is right now. It's just a bunch of lines, but it is actually the Nightwing armor from Titans. I'll probably be making a couple of those, and I will have these templates available in my shop as well. Alright guys, and that does it for this video completely. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram if you guys want to see other stuff that's coming up. I do a post there first, my Instagram and my Facebook. I'll leave links for those down below. And yeah, if you guys have any requests, comments, questions, concerns, drop them down below. Have a great one.